Hi everyone, this is audap. Let's continue our game of Paranormasight this on Nintendo Switch. Oh, are we out here? Let's check up on Hitomi. Oh. Maybe we need to go to the bridge. Yako Sakazaki, 9 a.m. And so, Miyu Kurasuzu and Yako Sakazaki decided on their next location to investigate. Oh, wait, is that supposed to be like that? Am I not picking the right location? Nope, seems like it's the same all the way through. I guess we had to pick the detective. Fancy sushi. With dusk fast approaching, they have no time to waste. With that in mind, Tsutsumi and Edio direct their investigation towards Komagata High School and the Shiraisi residence. Tetsuo Tsutsumi, 9 a.m. near the Shiraishi household. It seems like Michio's house is at the end of this road. We don't want to intimidate them, so maybe I should go alone. The houses are really cramped together in these narrow alleyways. Strangers like us walking through definitely stand out. Huh. It really feels like old Tokyo. It's quiet. This place is normally pretty lively, full of people coming and going. But it seems like everybody decided to stay inside because of the recent incidents. Alright, I'll go check on the house. Oh, you're back. No luck, boss. No one home? Doesn't look like it. I knocked for a while, but nobody came to the door. I glanced in the windows, but there was no sign of activity inside either. And I saw about 3 newspapers stuffed in their mailbox. Hideo looks kind of disappointed. Looks like no one's home right now. Let's try again later. Not much we can do if they're not home. Let's go somewhere else for now. Tetsuo Tsutsumi, 9 a.m. Komagata High School. Here we are, Komagata High. Classes are suspended for the day, so the students are just kind of wandering around aimlessly. The news of the dead teacher has also attracted a fair share of rubberneckers. The atmosphere is kind of tense with this many cops around. Komagata High's gymnasium also serves as a polling place and evacuation center. A lot of the buildings around here are still made of wood, but this place looks safe and sturdy. Is there something on my shirt? Don't tell me I stink. The school gate will stay locked while forensics inspects the scene of the incident. Looks like they're still busy. Let's talk to the person in charge later. This place isn't only connected to the case because the students were under Yoshimi's jurisdiction. It's also the site of the Fool's Procession, and of course where that teacher was killed. It seems... Alright, speaking of schools... What is it? You said Paranormal Affairs can't help us right now. So why don't we get that psychic high schooler you mentioned to help us? A lot of people involved in this case lead back to the school anyway, so it might make things easier to have them with us. For a guy who questioned me on the legality of working with them, he sure seemed eager to exploit underage labor. Hey, who said anything about exploiting them? I just want to give our young experts the opportunity to shine. When did you become such a smooth talker? Anyway, I'm afraid I don't know where they are. Oh, I see. I wonder if there's anyone who can help us scout out the area. "9 a.m. Perfectly reasonable time for students to be at school, and yet, I doubt this will be that simple." I guess we'll have to suspend. Wow, we're out of options, huh? I guess they have to go to Komagata now? Yeah, the locations are actually not in the screen. It's so weird. I mean, they're off screen. I don't know why they didn't shrink the map to fit onto the 1080p image. And so, Mio Kurasuo and Yako Sakazaki decided on the next location to investigate. This should put them in contact with the detectives, so we can continue this way. There they are. I'll do all this. Ideally, we could talk to someone who was involved in the incident. Easier said than done, though. Huh? That's... Boss? What is it? You want to talk to those girls? Yeah, I do. This is divine intervention. We were brought here for a reason. Come on, Hideo. Huh? What? Hey, aren't you... You must be that high schooler skirting the child labor laws who I've heard so much about. Say that again? Sorry about that. He's with me. Oh, Mr. Sutsumi, if that's how you feel, maybe you should look into improving my working conditions. Yeah, I'd prefer not to work for free, to be honest. Don't worry about it. If you help us out, you can have whatever you want. Boss's treat. Wait. Really? Oh, thank you so much. I've always wanted to go to a fancy sushi place. Oh yeah, like one of those places in Ginza? I've never been. Let's go. We've got ourselves a deal, right, boss? The girls are at our service. Hold on now. What just happened? I never said I'd... Sushi? Looking forward to it, boss. Wait, since when were you included? You guys are real funny. You should do stand-up. So, this is Yako Sakazaki. She was with Mio. Could she be a friend? Did Mio finally make a friend? If she did, it wouldn't do this old man's heart good. But I better not say that out loud. Don't want to make her look bad. Mio Kurasuzu. She's like a disciple of the Paranormal Affairs Chief. I've heard that she helps out with investigations free of charge under the guise of training. Although she's my old boss's protege, she helped me out plenty while I was in Paranormal Affairs. She may look meek, but she's got strong spirit sense, sharp instincts and courage, plus quite the brain to back it all up. That said, I can't help but think there's some kind of darkness following her around. Forensics is still investigating the area. I didn't really want to bring these kids to a place like this, but there were too many onlookers outside for us to speak comfortably. Besides, it would be good to have Mio look around the scene too. It's usually easier to let Edeo do the talking when it comes to young people, but we only have a day. It'd be quicker if I take the reins this time. But he did manage to win them over with promises of food. Let's see how this plays out. What's the rope all about? It indicates where Jonishi's body was found. They moved his body, but this way we still have an idea of how it was found. Yikes, that's a little gross. You can even see how his arms and legs are all... Ugh. Cool it, Edeo. You're scaring her. This kind of stuff is a little much for a kid. Hey, I'm pretty sure she only asked because you were staring at it so intently. Alright, that's enough. Mio, what do you think? I knew it the second I looked at the scene. You're right. Traces of a curse still linger here. I figured as much. Does that mean Jinoichi was killed by one of the curses of the Seven Mysteries? Yes, a strong curse like that always leaves behind a trace. Wow, Mio, you're so calm. Are you used to this kind of thing? I wouldn't say I'm used to it. It just comes with experience, I guess. No, I've heard some stories about you. Didn't you investigate a gruesome scene where someone had been killed by a paranormal attack without even breaking a sweat? Stop it, Mr. Tsutsumi. She's going to get the wrong idea. Wow, that's amazing. Mio, you're a professional. You think? Totally. You're cool even in the face of death. That's awesome. When you put it like that, I'm not sure how awesome it is. So, a curse was used here, which means the curse bearer must have been on the scene, too. So, how much have you been able to figure out? Well, I know what happened around midnight last night. Someone invoked the Feast of Shadows, which boosts the power of curses, then brought forth the 7 Mysteries of Honjo. That allows even those who do not have the power to cast curses to gather soul dregs for the rite of resurrection. At least that's my hypothesis. Sounds about right so far. As I'm sure you know, there are actually 9 mysteries, not 7. When the Feast of Shadows was cast, the curse stones appeared before those who wanted the rite at the locales of the 7 mysteries. We've managed to gather 3 curse stones so far, including the one I got first, the Evergreen Breach. You got 3 already? Wow. We have the curse stone of the Fool's Possession. Well, Yako, the girl standing behind me. Oh, we have the curse stone of the Fool's Possession. Well, Yako, the girl behind me, does. That's me, Yako, the girl standing behind Mio. She does? Is she alright? We could take it off your hands. Well, the Feast of Shadows has no effect during the day, and there's still something I want to find out. Alright, I'll leave the Fool's Possession with you two then. Huh? You want to talk to me? You'd probably be better off asking Mio. Thank you. Please keep collecting other curse stones. I'll be looking for a way to stop the Feast of Shadows. Okay, got it. That should make things go more smoothly. What about the other curse bearers? Have you run into any of them? Well, last night at school. You were here last night? You were here last night? Yes, you see... Huh. You two were using a spirit board? That's so cool. So, that's when you ran into the Curse Echo. I'm glad you survived the encounter. Somehow, we managed to get away without accidentally setting it off. The Curse Echo we saw took the shape of a woman missing an arm and a leg. What? A woman missing an arm and a leg? That's... I don't know. I have to look at it. I don't know this stuff. I don't remember this stuff. Give me a break. Not the lantern. Not the clappers. Was it Taiko? No? It's not foot washing. Oh no, it is the one-sided read. I thought the serial killer had the one-sided read. The one-sided read. This is bad. Huh? What's so bad about that one? You idiot think the curse bearer of the one-sided reed is... Nejima. Fumijika Nejima. He admitted it himself. That's his curse. Oh, that's right. Wait, but if that's the case... Nejima might have been here last night. What? I mean, it's possible he was lying to us, but... What? Who's Nejima? No clue. This is one hell of a coincidence, huh? That this random girl you know is already involved with the case? About Fumijika Nejima. So, Nejima is trying to take advantage of the Feast of Shadows for his own nefarious purposes. Huh? He said he's going to massacre the city at sundown today? And he's trying to get your daughter too? That's why we've been trying to find him, but to no avail. Honestly, this information has been the most useful we've gotten so far. So, just to be sure, could you tell me who else was at the school last night? Well, as far as we know, there was us, Mr. Jonichi, and one of our classmates, Hitomi. Don't forget old man Ashimiya. Wait, Hitomi? Do you mean Hitomi Okuda? Second year student? Well, yes, why? Boss. So, she was here last night. Hmm? I saw Hitomi earlier, though, and she didn't seem like a curse bearer to me. You did? Did you talk to her? Yes. Would you mind if we asked you a few questions about that? Hitomi said she didn't want to talk to the police because she was afraid she'd become a suspect. So I can't tell you anything unless you swear you won't drag her into this. I see. Don't worry, this is about a different matter. A different matter? You mean about that police officer, Mr. Yoshimi? Oh, you know about that? Did Hitomi say something about him? Yes, she did, actually. Okay, so we can't talk to her. Hitomi did say that Mr. Yoshimi entrusted her with something. He did? What was it? Yoshimi gave her a talisman? Yes, apparently he also asked her to look for another one just like it, one that Michio had. What kind of talismans could they be? Boss? Doesn't ring a bell. But if Yoshimi was talking about him with his dying breath, they must have been pretty important. Did they find a talisman on Michio where her body was found? I'll check, but if they did, Yoshimi would have had plenty of time to retrieve it before he died. Right. Would you consider giving us Hitomi's contact information? I'd like to talk to her about the talismans. I'm not sure. She never opened up to anyone except Mr. Yoshimi. Yes. I'm no good, huh? I was friends with Yoshimi, though. You don't seem like too bad of a guy. Not all that scary for a cop. But I doubt that'll be enough for her. She really doesn't want to end up becoming a suspect. To be honest, she was even a bit wary of us. Well then. You think she'll talk to Yoshimi's fiancé? Haven't they met before? Oh, they have. She told us about that. Yeah, she might be willing to talk to her. Alright, then we better find her fast. You haven't been able to reach her? That's a little worrying. Mayu Chozawa. We'll let you know as soon as we manage to contact her. Okay, I'll be willing to give Hitomi's contact information to her. Oh, right. One more thing. Hitomi told me that Mr. Yoshimi gave her instructions in the event that something happened to him. He told her to give the talismans to Mr. Nakagoshi from the police headquarters. What? So it was a Nakagoshi case? Why would Yoshimi tell her that? Could you check on that? I will, but, well, I don't know if they'll pick up when I call. Is he with the Paranormal Affairs Bureau? Well, yes. Nakagoshi's the chief, but he's almost never in, so I don't really know the guy. To be honest, I'm not even sure if he exists or if he's just a figurehead. I've never spoken to him myself. All paranormal affairs cases are referred to as Nakagoshi cases. Geez, what's up with that? If we're talking about people who were at school last night, there was one more person, though I'm not too clear on the details. There was someone else. Apparently Hitomi actually saw Mr. Junichi getting cursed and killed last night. What? Talk about some vital information. What she said had happened was... Michio was the one who killed Mr. Junichi? Are you sure it was really Michio that she saw? Well, that's what she told me. I wasn't there. That must mean there was another curse bearer here last night. Junichi was killed by a curse, so someone had to have been there, whether it was Michio or not. Damn, boss. Do you think it really could have been Michio's ghost? I mean, based on what we've heard, she does have plenty of reason to be vengeful. Calm down. Just because the paranormal exists doesn't mean just anything is possible. It's still possible that Nejiba was behind Junichi's death. But what about Hitomi's story? About this janitor, Ashimiya, was it? How old is he? Do you know how long he's worked here? Huh? Why are you so interested in him all of a sudden? I only just transferred to this school, though, so I have no idea. He's around 50 years old. He came to our school about half a year ago. No one knows what he did before, so there are all kinds of rumors about him. I see. Thanks. I think I'm starting to get a better picture of all this. Huh? Listen up. It's not uncommon for former prisoners to find work under an alias after their release. The note already attached to their former name can get in the way of proper rehabilitation, you see. What are you... No way. Edio, have the officers apprehend the janitor. He worked the night shift, so he might still be in the overnight room. Yes, right away. Bad news. Boss, bad news. Apparently the room's been empty all morning. Sounds like they'd been looking to question Ashimiya too, but couldn't find him anywhere. No. That all but confirms it. Just one more thing to check. Are there any photos of this Ashimiya? Huh? The old man seriously hated getting his picture taken. He'd always avoid it. Edio, call an urgent search for Makoto Ashimiya. We can't let him get away. Yes, sir. I'll contact HQ right away. Oh my, I didn't expect this at all. Yeah, how could that old man have been some horrible criminal mastermind? I can't believe it. And a curse bearer on top of that. To think he was so close to us this whole time. Gives me the chills. A guy like that really shouldn't have been allowed to work at a high school. Well, let's hope it isn't already too late. Oh, I may have shown Ashimiya my curse stone last night. What? I didn't like this one bit. I don't like this one bit. Ninjima said he wasn't specifically targeting curse bearers, but... I'm glad nothing happened to you. Wait, but then, could it have been old man Ashimiya who attacked you in the hallway? I was told that we were still in the building, too. What? You did? Yikes. A good thing I didn't say anything. You might have gotten very lucky there, huh? You might have gotten very lucky there, kid. This is too much. I hope they find him soon. Come on, long arm of the law. Help us. About Hitomi. That amulet Hitomi was looking for may be the missing puzzle piece to this mystery. To put a stop to the Feast of Shadows, it would help if I knew more about how the curses of the Seven Mysteries first came about. In that case, you're probably best off talking to that crabby researcher guy. You mean Mr. Adaishi? I would very much like to talk to him. Alright, he's a teacher here too, isn't he? You would know him already. He might be more inclined to talk if it's one of his students doing the asking. Do you know where he is? I do. We tried to talk to him, but he refused to cooperate. But you two should give him a try. He's at the usual cafe working on his papers. A cafe? Oh, a Kodakiko cafe in Kamisawa? Thanks. We'll head over there now. School rules say we're not allowed to go to cafes, though. Don't worry much about it. I'll allow it. Thank you. Huh, that's all it takes? There must be a mastermind behind everything, someone who orchestrated all this for a reason. I want to find out why. So, a curse was used here, which means the curse bearer must have been on the scene too. Jonoichi was almost definitely killed by a curse, but I wonder about the exact cause of death. If the curse's origin and the cause of death are connected, it could give us another lead. What was that thing you mentioned about Michio earlier? Something about a grudge? Did you know anything about her? What's your relation? I'm her friend. I was actually planning to resurrect her at first. Ah, I see. We've gained quite a lot of information from you two. It's only fair we share as well. Tell her, Edio. Alright. Keep in mind that this is just a theory, though. Okay? After re-examining the crime scene, Yoshimi concluded that Michio's death wasn't a suicide, but a vehicular collision. Wait, what? An accident? Being hit by a speeding truck or van would have resulted in similar injuries. The investigation was ordered by Yoshimi, so it seems he had his doubts about it being a suicide. What? A van? Speeding? Yako, what's wrong? Are you okay? A van. There's a young man in the driver's seat. Yako! Why'd it go by so fast? What the hell? Wait. A van. There's a young man in the driver's seat. Is the passenger seat? In the passenger seat's a woman? Yako! Huh? Yes. Wait, was I? Are you back now? How do you feel? You're covered in sweat. Yeah, I'm okay, I think. Sorry, I went a little crazy there. That's no problem. It's no problem, as long as you're okay. That was quite the surprise, though. Yoshimi talked to you about Michio, didn't he? Well, he didn't give me any specifics, if you're wondering about that. So I don't know what was truly on Michio's mind, either. Right. Do you have any idea why Jonoichi was so scared of Michio? Well, about that. I'm not sure exactly how to put this, but... I see. Well, I half expected it was something like that. Thank you for telling me. Sorry, it's hard to explain. I wonder what he got his hands on to be able to blackmail her like that. Michio, what happened? This is one hell of a coincidence, huh? Oh, that's right. Hey boss, Forensics is calling. I'll go see what they have to say. Sure, thanks. Boss, they found this on the ground a short distance from the scene. What is that? A ribbon? Yeah, the kind you use to tie up your hair. What? I've seen that ribbon before. You have? Go on then. That's the ribbon that Michio always used to wear. What? Does that mean that Michio was here? Are you sure? Definitely. I have the same one at home. We bought them together. That has to be hers. Then did she come back to life somehow? But how? Oh, did somebody use the right on her already? If it was Michio and I came back to life, where would I go? That's the question. She got her revenge on Jonoichi, but she may have more revenge to dish out. Is there anyone else she'd have a grudge against? Well, what about the guy who killed her in the collision? She really did come back to life. Then it's terribly sad that she's spending her new chance at life like this. Being obsessed with revenge is such a tragic way to live. I'm afraid that's all we can tell you. Don't worry, you're a big help. Thank you. We'll start our search for Nejiba and Mayu Chozawa. It might be worth it to check Michio's house as well, just in case. Let's use the school as our base of operations. If anything happens, go to one of the officers hanging around here. Got it. Thank you, and good luck. We'll go talk to Mr. Arashi about a way to lift the curse. Alright, boss. Let's get going wherever you're ready. Okay, I think that's everything, right? We'll leave the curse lifting to the girls while we go look for Nejiba and Chozawa. There's also the matter of Yoshimi's talisman. But we won't get anything done staying here. We better get a move on. Okay, let's follow the detectives. Dead or alive, Haruo Shigema. Haruo and Richter visit Michio's home, having determined her to be a key player in the unsolved kidnapping case from a year before. As the complicated story begins to unravel, they encounter two men. Ma'am, allow me to introduce one of our country's most elite detectives. Name's Jun Erio. I hardly call myself elite, but either way, it's nice to meet you. This here is the brilliant Chief Inspector Tsutsume, and yes, he's just as rough and tumble as he looks. Sometimes I really don't know if you're complimenting or putting me down. So, you two are detectives. This is my client, Miss Haruo Shigema. Her father's a big deal in the police himself, so remember to mind your manners. A bigwig named Shigema? Boss, you know of this guy? Shit, I've heard the name, but you know I don't keep track of who's who in the upper echelons. There's no need to worry. I am my own person after all, and my father has nothing to do with any of this. Oh, did you hear that, boss? Looks like you're getting off easy again this time. Don't make it sound like I'm involved in some shady business. It ain't like that. You both seem rather jovial despite being detectives. How rare. All the police officers I've met have always been so dull. Well, you won't find any dull cops here. We'll round up all your criminals with a smile. That's our motto. How lovely. Keep it up. Just hold on one second. This is the first I'm hearing of that. Well, you're right about them not being your typical detectives. I thought we might cause trouble standing in the middle of the street talking like this, but so far we haven't drawn attention. Then again, that might be just because nobody wants to get involved with the case. A young and energetic detective, he seems to have a strong sense of justice. If my son had the chance to grow older, perhaps he would have become an officer just like him. He seems like he's got a lot of experience working the streets. Most of the officers I know are the bureaucratic desk jockey types. The contrast is rather striking. It seems they were acquainted, but also like they haven't talked in a long time. What brings you here, Richter? You on a case? That's right, I'm picking up the police's slack. I trust you remember the kidnapping and murder case from last year. Oh, I remember now. You're that Haruo Shigema from the kidnapping case. Huh? Did I miss something? Don't be an idiot. It was the case where Munasada Shigema's grandson was kidnapped. Which must have been your son, ma'am. Indeed, the story was suppressed by the news. In the end, it was considered a huge failure on the police department's part. Most of the investigation was conducted in secret, and unfortunately the department is unwilling to reopen the case. Any investigation carried out afterwards turned up nothing at all, which is why I'm on the job. So, they never caught the culprit, huh? That's rough. So, your findings have brought you to this place then? that's right. An individual connected to the case used to live around here. Used to? That's right. As of last week, they're deceased. We'd hoped to talk to the family. No one was home when I checked last time, so we figured we'd try again. Interesting. It sure doesn't look good on the police to be mishandling cases like these. If there really was a culprit, it should be our responsibility to bring them to justice. Well, I do consider the police my people. So, you consider the blame to be shared. You've got a stern side as well, I see. Okay. By the way, ma'am, this might be sudden, but there's something I'd like to confirm with you. And that is? Do you happen to know anything about the 7 Mysteries of Honjo? Huh? Sorry, Chief, but that's hardly... With all due respect, investigator, I think my question was addressed to the lady. If you insist. What do you say, ma'am? Can you tell us anything? I've heard of the 7 mysteries, but this talk of curses eludes me. Is that so? Well, I'm sorry for the intrusion. Come to think of it, I heard some things about this area last night. Something about a strange yet conspicuous man dressed in white loitering around. Wait a second. I assume they were talking about you, investigator. Well, I don't argue that I'm strange and conspicuously dressed in white. As it turns out, I was out here last night to conduct my investigation. Did you run into anything strange or out of the ordinary? Out of the ordinary? I guess I did observe a few suspicious characters. You were asking about curses just now. Why would a public servant be interested in the occult? Boss, Richter's a smart man. He can help us if we tell him what we know. I can't promise I'll be of any help to you, but I'm interested in hearing what you've got to say. Something is happening in Honjo, isn't there? It must be something big if they got you head office guys on it. Well, I guess it's all right. Desperate times call for desperate measures. Thank you, boss. Listen closely to what we have to say, Richter. So by using curses to commit murders, these people collect soul dregs to perform the rite of resurrection. And these curse stones are somehow connected to the 7 mysteries of Honjo. Well, it's a tough story to swallow, but I don't see a reason to doubt you either. We figured the strange occurrences happening around here recently are connected to the curses. To get this situation under control, we've been searching for the curse bearers to confiscate their cursed stones. Do you have any information that might help us? That's tough. I never expected curses and other mumbo-jumbo to play in this at all. But if you're talking about shady characters, there's this middle-aged fellow I saw on South Watagashu Street. He had an average build. He was anxious, like he was searching for prey. Boss, what do you think? Well, considering the location, it could have been Hideki Adaishi. We already got his curse stone. Impressive. You two are working quick. Did you see anything else? Not that I can remember. That's a shame. If you see any characters who look like they might be carrying a curse stone, it'd be a huge help if you let us know. Absolutely. I'll let you know if I find anything. Richter, perhaps you could lend a hand in our case too. There's a number of people we can't track, and finding missing persons happens to be your specialty, no? I hate to disappoint you, but I'm busy enough with this case. The faith of my clients is what keeps me afloat. I have to prioritize requests by the order in which they come in. I see. Well, I can't say that's not fair. What do you need a private investigator for anyway? The cops should have plenty of bright folks to throw at the job. True, but this isn't an ordinary case we're dealing with here. Huh. By the way, that reminds me, Richter. Yes? You said the person who used to live here died last week. You would be referring to Michio Shiraishi by any chance. You knew? Huh, I thought so. Seems like we're here for the same reason then. Seriously? Michio was involved with curses and magic? Strictly speaking, the curse part isn't our concern. We're looking into Yoshimi's case. Yoshimi? Oh, right. Hajime Yoshimi's. That's right. He died on the job. I'm sure you've heard of it. I heard. It was a most unfortunate loss. So there's a connection between Hajime Yoshimi of the Juvenile Division and Michio. Well, hold on. Let's focus on Michio for a second. You think she has something to do with the kidnapping? Talk about unforeseen developments. Exchanging information should prove mutually beneficial. I'll tell you what I know, but in turn I want the full scoop on your findings concerning Michio. Sure, to tell you the truth. What? You believe Michio's ghost is the one who killed Mr. Jonoichi? So, he wasn't just mumbling nonsense? I mean, we haven't fully confirmed anything yet. But the testimonies we've heard and the evidence we found point in that direction. Testimony? You mean from those, psychic high schoolers? Didn't they also say there was a chance Michio hadn't killed herself? Wait, if that's true, then... Did you figure something out? Konkichiro Iwai. Huh? Konkichiro Iwai. He'll be the next victim. We have to open the doors to the Shiraishi house. We need to look inside. Hey, what's gotten into you? Boss. I'm sure the landlord would give us the key if we asked. Screw that. You know how long that could take? We can ask for permission later. Richter? Hey, Richter, calm down. We can just... Take that, you shitty door. That's how you do it. Richter, get a hold of yourself. I see you're still the same as always. Everyone, come quick. Look at this. Oh, ho, ho, ho. Huh? Whoa, what's up with this room? Boss, there's a dead body in here. Whoa, could that be Michio's dad? Nah, her stepdad at best, if that. It's gotta be the body of Konkichiro Iwai. There's no doubt about it. This man's a goner. He's gotten real messed up. Looks like he's been like this for a while. I'd say it happened last night. Edio, did you find Junichi's body in the same state? Now that you mention it, it looked as though Kohei Junichi had died from a number of heavy blows. What are you suggesting, investigator? It was Michio Shiraishi. She's alive. She used the power of the curses to get back at the men who ruined her life. That's ridiculous. You're suggesting she actually revived? It's gotta be that. And if she's alive, then... Oh, hi, welcome. It's getting really good. My apologies for interrupting. I know we've just arrived at an interesting plot point. Wait, don't you actually have voice? Yeah, oh, okay. For some reason, you don't have voice. I guess it's only at the beginning and end or something? I don't know. But do you really think a dead girl is going around taking revenge from beyond the grave? Consider this. What if Michio Shiraishi never died? But seeing as you've come this far, I'm sure you already know the truth, don't you? And so, I would have you answer me a question. Where in Honjo was Michio Shiraishi at the hour of 8 o'clock this morning? What the hell? I just never really thought about that. Where would she be at 8 in the morning? What choices do we have? We have the house, no. The high school, the bridge, Similar River, candy shop, Yasada Gardens, Shikima residence. Guess maybe she'd be at the school? I see. So that's what you think. Let's take a moment to reconsider what you know and choose again, shall we? I don't know. Where the hell is she? Why wouldn't she be at the school? Should be at the park. We've had 3 deaths so far. One of them was at the park. It'll be my last choice, won't it? I see. Very well. Congratulations, you are correct. It was the last choice. You got it wrong 9 times. Well, it's a trivial matter. Why would you be at the candy shop? As expected, you got it in one go. Of course. Well, the cause of death was such, was it not? You must have noticed something. You must have noticed some time ago. Let's get back to the story then, shall we? I've taken up enough of your time. What? So you really think Michio Shidaishi is alive? Just think it through and it all becomes obvious. It tracks, but do you really think that girl could have managed all of this? First of all, Edio, go report this to HQ. Understood. I'll get on it right away. I'll start investigating this place. I'm sure it isn't lacking in stuff that needs looking at. There's a bunch of photos of the same person pasted on the wall over there. Huh? Whoa now, hold on. These photos. These are all of Fumachika Nejima. Gross. Really? Come to think of it, he was in the papers a lot back in the day. Oh, there's even more pasted up over there. These are all cutouts from newspapers and magazines about the Nejima murders. I don't get it. Why the weirdo shrine? Let's keep looking around. There's nothing around to confirm his identity, but by the looks of him, I'd say he's Konkichiro Iwai. You've seen him before? I heard he had a criminal record, so I assumed he wouldn't have held a respectable occupation. Is this what a curse does to a person? Ma'am, it'd be better not to look so closely. It's amazing. Cruel is what it is. Haruhi doesn't have a full deck up there. It's off-putting to look at, but I can't help but wonder what in the world this is. They're magic runes. They've been used in Western black magic rituals. Most of the time, they're useless imitations, though. I wouldn't get too excited about it. Oh my, who knew this chief inspector was such an expert on the occult? I just chanced upon that information. That girl with the spirit sense we mentioned, she's pretty informed about the subject. Someone was attempting to perform Western black magic in this place. Pretty absurd if you ask me. Of course, the person in question was dead serious about it all. Western black magic. While magic is often classed as a branch of mysticism, or may variously refer to the likes of witchcraft or astrology, here it refers specifically to Western black magic. In the Middle Ages, the line between science and magic was blurred, with the pursuit of the supernatural considered a legitimate academic discipline. Astrology was regarded akin to astronomy, while alchemy was accepted as scientific fact and would eventually evolve into what is known today as chemistry. One discipline, however, was considered wicked and shunned accordingly: black magic, the practice of using magic knowledge to strike a bargain with demons. In contrast to the socially acceptable subjects studied by the intelligentsia, black magic was most prolific among the lower classes. It was the common people who suffered most from the ills of the day: war, famine, and sickness, which perhaps led them to seek aid from unholy powers. As hearsay, these rituals and spells were nowhere to be found in orthodox modes of teaching, but instead were recorded in tomes of dubious credibility. It looks like the things spread around here have been like this for a while now. This ritual, or whatever, was something he attempted up until recently. Plenty of the neighbors mentioned having heard strange, mantra-like noises coming from here during the night. You think Iwai was the one chanting? Hard to say. Could have been one of the Shiraishis as well. If we look through these books in the back, we might learn whatever it is they were trying to do. There are candles and stones with inscriptions placed all over. These tools are these tools for some ritual? Hey, don't touch anything, you hear? Ah, that's right. Considering this is a murder scene, we ought to leave everything as it is. All of this can be used as evidence. If anyone besides forensics toys with it, it'll cause trouble down the road. This drawer is really old. Chief Inspector, do you mind if I look inside? Huh? I mean, in normal cases, only the police would be allowed to touch things, right? Right. Eddie wasn't here, so let me take a look at it. There's just clothes in here. Not much variety either. Can't say they were big spenders. Well, I was hoping to find some kind of talisman here, but I guess we're not so lucky. I see. Thank you anyway. It's the same man in every picture. Is that Fumichika Nejima? Wow, this is quite the spectacle. I don't think I've ever managed to erase this from my mind. Don't worry, Richter. You're quite the spectacle yourself. Do you mean to compare me with the likes of the bizarre criminal? These aren't just cuts from publications. They even snapped a number of shots on their own. They must have admired him. Why else would they have collected so many pictures? Whatever the case, it's certain they were obsessed. With the window and storm shutter closed, no light gets in here at all. It's pitch black. The neighbors mentioned they started to keep the house shut like this not long ago. Look at these. Pictures of Fumichika Nejima cut out from newspapers and magazines. Whoever put these up was obsessed. I wonder what their intent was. You think the Shiraishis are somehow connected to the Nejima case? Perhaps they did this as to not forget a grudge or something. It's crazy to think Nejima might be involved in all this too. Huh? Do you think he might have anything to do with the body here? Maybe. The man's already out on parole. He's a curse bearer with a curse stone now. He announced that from sundown today he's going on a killing spree. Oh dear. There's an emergency search underway as we speak, but no one's yet managed to get a hold of the bastard. So he hasn't changed his ways. That doesn't bode well. To tell the truth, the lady here isn't completely unconnected from the Nejima murders either. You don't say. That's right. We talked about it last night. 20 years ago, I found the hand in Sumida River that brought the incident to light. You don't say. You were the kid from back then? Huh, you were really brave. You did a great deed. Were you the detective I spoke with? I had no idea. So, you two have met before. Fancy that. I've been worried that Fumichika Nejima might bear resentment towards you, ma'am. You might be right. Unfortunately, that asshole is quite the resentful type. Oh dear. That asshole. I wonder who put the idea into his head. And now he's got the one-sided read, too. He's threatening to massacre the people of Honjo at sundown. Seriously? On top of that, he's been itching to get revenge on me as well. Of all things, the man's gone and threatened to kill my daughter. Damn, that's quite the threat. Certainly you can't afford to stay put here. The fucker wants us to get all antsy. When I finally get to arresting him, it'll be with a cool head. Not going to give him the pleasure, huh? Well, if Hawaii and Fumichika Nejima have anything to do with each other, then this room might be a clue to Nejima's location. Let's hope so. Okay, so Nejima and this guy probably went to prison together, so they came up with a plan to... Why would they come up with a plan to bring back his daughter? The motivation doesn't make that much sense. The person who put all these photos up must have been obsessed with Nejima. Well, that would have been that guy that's lying there right now. They might have had some relation to Nejima's victims, or perhaps it was the opposite. The opposite? What if it wasn't loathing, but admiration? But then... This sliding door leads to the kitchen. It barely fits the frame. What do you say, Chief? Would you let me look through this if I wore gloves? Well, it's not like I'm any help with foreign languages. Go ahead. Thank you. There seems to be a book on Western black magic. The same runes are written here alongside detailed descriptions of the procedures. I suppose you'd call these grimoires. It's all a bunch of nonsense if you ask me, though. You think this Awai guy was studying them, perhaps to perform some kind of ritual? There are a bunch of handwritten notes besides the grimoires. Whoever it was, they were serious about all this. Awai doesn't look like the type to be into this stuff, but you shouldn't judge a book by its cover. But why would he be studying black magic? According to the materials, this here rune is for the restoration of youth. Perhaps he was trying to become young again. This over here seems to be black magic related to resurrection. Each one of these spells requires a human sacrifice. Talk about dangerous. Resurrection? Like the rite? I guess no matter what part of the world, people will turn to the occult for similar reasons. What is it? This looks like a journal. It's probably a wise. A journal. His writing is surprisingly thorough. It's almost as if he was writing a report for someone. Oh wow, now this is something. What is it? What did he write? This is quite the find. Let me give you a summary. So, this Kankichiro Iwai fellow. He's been searching for a spell to restore youth for years. So, he was into black magic from the start. He believed if he could learn to successfully perform the spell, he could then use it to earn a fortune. To tell you the truth, it seems he was already getting funded after he acquired this grimoire. You don't say. This is starting to sound kind of familiar. But first, let's find out how he got his hands on this grimoire. It seems that Nejima told him where he could obtain the book when they were both in prison. Yeah. What? That's nearly too much of a coincidence. Likely not a coincidence. It seems like Iwai took an interest in the Nejima murders after it made the news. He admired him rather passionately. You might even say he worshipped the man. Worship? Nejima of all people? This was a time when students were itching to rebel. Anyone who did something to shake the world was bound to gather admirers. Iwai had been collecting these photos ever since that time. And since he just so happened to land in prison at the same time as Nejima, he made sure to get in contact. This is a lot. I mean, even having it all laid out like this. The thought of Nejima being involved with these grimoires is staggering. I don't think we ever had anything pinpointing that. What's the connection? To be honest, it's a shock to me too. For years we've been scratching our heads over the motives behind the Nejima murders. Yep, it's been a mystery to all of us from the very start. Whoa now, wait just a minute. Do you think? No way. Are you saying... That's right, the murders might have been for a ritual. He was attempting to perform black magic. The instructions written down for the sacrificial offer match up exactly with the acts carried out by Nejima. You gotta be kidding me. So, that sadistic crap he was doing was all for black magic. That's what the evidence suggests. However, Nejima tried to do some type of resurrection ritual, but Iwai had different motives. Chief Inspector, you might think this is all the stuff of fantasy, but that doesn't refute that Nejima and Iwai were both acting in earnest. This is batshit insane. You're telling me that Nutjob did all this for some hokey-pokey resurrection? Shit, resurrection. That means there must have been someone Nejima wanted to bring back to life. Damn, that's it. That has to be it. Fucking hell, it all makes sense now.
What? What is it?
So, about the Nejima murders. There's some information that's been kept from the public. Go on. We broke into his house and arrested him. Or when we broke into his house and arrested him, we also found a baby.
A baby?
It was a girl, looked to be about 6 months old, but she was covered in filth. She looked so weak and sickly. We called the medics right away. If we were a second later, I'm sure the girl would have died.
So, was Nejima the father?
He told us he'd found her under a bridge.
He found her? She was abandoned?
I've heard of parents threatening to leave their child under a bridge as a threat, but to think it really happens. I suppose there are those cases with the dead newborns found stuffed into coin lockers, so it's not without precedent. Whatever the case, we never found out the truth. But there's one rumor from back then that I could never get out of my mind. And it's starting to sound more likely now? Well, I'm sure this isn't the first time you've heard of it. Many believe Nejima's guilty of more crimes than what got him convicted. Back then, a lot of girls went missing.
Yeah, I remember all of that.
Among the high school girls that might have been murdered, or maybe I should say sacrificed, was a girl who was pregnant.
Goodness. That's horrific.
He killed her and dismembered her body. And we thought maybe the baby we found is what he pulled out from inside of her. Don't misunderstand me. This is all speculation on top of more speculation here. But I, for one, never believed that man would just take in a baby he found under a bridge.
I'm feeling sick.
Stay strong. Stay strong, ma'am. I know this is hard to hear. Like I said, don't take that to be the full truth. We were running on speculation back then. Now that this whole resurrection magic has come into play, we should consider the possibility it was his child. And that maybe he was trying to revive whoever the mother might have been. It's just a theory, but my life would be a tad easier if it were true.
That's an interesting thought. If there's anyone Nejima would want to resurrect, a deceased wife is as good as any guess. The fact that he obtained a curse stone suggests that he has an interest in the right of resurrection.
Damn, you're right. And here I was thinking that he was only after the curse's power to massacre.
Chief Inspector.
Yeah?
What happened to the child?
Without a birth registration on file, the best we could do was find the girl some suitable foster parents. It was decided to keep the circumstances secret for the sake of the child's future.
Well, I'm glad she was taken care of.
Alright, and with those revelations, why don't we stop it there. This is audap. You've been watching Paranormasight, the 7 Mysteries of Honjo, running on Nintendo Switch. Yeah, excellent stuff so far. I'm really glad to pick this up. And it was, featured on the Japanese Nintendo Direct. I think this might have flown under the radar of a lot of people, maybe myself included too. Although I tend to like this kind of stuff really, but yeah, definitely check it out. Pick it up for yourself. It's not expensive at all, so I think it's well worth your time and money. Anyway, I hope you enjoyed watching. I will see you with the next stream.